Hi everyone, this is Lisa. You can tell that my voice is kind of shot, but I want to show you how to do some of the truth trees with quantifiers. It's easier to understand them just by seeing them. So here we go. I'm going to give you an argument. Here's our first premise and our second premise. And our conclusion. So I actually created one that in real language, everything is either real or imaginary, something is not real, therefore everything is imaginary. And you can probably hear already that that argument is invalid, but we're going to use the tree to show it. The rules are basically exactly the same as the rules for the basic truth trees that we practiced last week, or if you're in my night class that you watched a video by Jello Logic on. So we're going to incorporate those. All we need are the 3 new rules to deal with quantifiers and the negation of quantifiers. So just like before, we're always going to start off by taking the conclusion and putting it onto our tree trunk, but negating it. So that all stays the same. And now we're going to finish out the tree. There is a good order of operations, which I'm going to write off to the side here. What this shows is take care of your negations first. So if you have anything that's negated, do that first. And then if you have anything with one of our connectors, do those. And then do your existential, and then your universal. I'm going to show you why this is important. And basically this is getting you to always do the existentials before the universals. That's the important piece of this. And the next one I'll show you is to show you why that's important. So using that ordering, I have a universal and existential and a negation of a universal. So I'm going to do that negated universal first. We've already seen this change a quantifier rule. You push the tilde through the quantifier, and as you push it through, it changes it from whichever one it is to the other one. It always lands just exactly on the opposite side of the quantifier, no further in. And when we do that, we get to check it. So now I'm left with universal, existential, existential. So now, in my order of operations, I'm to the existential. So I have to do those. The rule for existential says, take off the quantifier, instantiate it, always with a new letter. So I'll start with this first one. We're going to take off the quantifier, and then instantiate it means replace that X with any letter A through W, but it has to be a brand new letter, one that doesn't show up anywhere in the proof. I don't have any in the proof yet. There's nothing A through W yet. So I get to choose whichever one I want, and I always just go alphabetical. So I'm going to write it down here. So I replace that X with an A, and then I get to check it. That one's done and I don't have to look at it again. Now I come to this next existential. Do the same thing. Take off the quantifier, replace the X with a brand new letter, A through W. But I've already used A, so I can't use A. So you can use any letter you want except A. Again, I go alphabetical, so I'm going to use B. And then I get to check it. So the rule for existential is use a new one. Okay, so I got through my existentials, so now I can do my universal. The rule for universal says instantiate it with every single constant that shows up in your tree, now or later. So far in my tree I have A and B. So I have to instantiate the universal with both A and B. So I'm going to do that. RA wedge IA. I've done it with the A, and now I do it right below with the B. So the rule for the universal is to do everyone. I don't ever check the universals because I may have to come back and do it again if somehow I introduce a new constant later on. I won't in this proof, but sometimes you do. All right, so now we've taken care of all the quantifiers, and so now we're left just with negations and wedges, and we're back to our basic truth tree rules. So these two are already at their simplest forms, so now I got wedges. Those are both going to branch. Doesn't matter which one we do first. The rule for wedge says branch. Each disjunct goes on its own branch. So I've done that one, and now looking up, I've got RA and I've got tilde RA, so that one closes. And I've got IA and tilde IB. That doesn't close because they're not the same. If this had been a B, then it would close. But they don't close. So now I can do this wedge, RB, IB. We'll start here, IB, tilde IB, so there I get my contradiction that closes the path. RB, IA, tilde IB, tilde RA. That path is not going to close. I have no contradiction. Whenever it doesn't close, it is invalid, which is what we suspected just reading it off. All right, so there's that proof. Now I'm going to show you that same proof where I don't do the existential first and instead I do the universal first.